Guys, so in this video, we're going to go through permutations and combinations. So these are types of probabilities based on ordering of things, or a group of things, I should say. So we're going to go through this do now in class. It's kind of just a way of working into permutations, ordering the letters of July. And this would be the outcome of that, right? We have J-U-L-Y, J-U-Y-L. We can obviously see all the different ways of doing it. Now, the way that we could actually come up with it without creating a sample space is using this idea of there's 4 letters in the word July. Okay, we did this type of probability at the very beginning of the chapter. There's 4 letters. So the first spot that I have to fill, there's 4 opportunities. But then when I pick a letter, now it declines it to having only 3 letters left to choose from. When I pick that letter, then there's only 2, and then 1 finally remaining. And if we multiply all of that, we get 24 possible ways. Okay, if I only ask for 2 of the letters, we have 12 possible ways. Okay, and that actually comes from something that we call n factorial. And n factorial, we use an exclamation point to represent it, is just the multiplications of decreasing integers from 1 to whatever the amount is, okay? And we'll see that kind of appear throughout probability often. So we're going to start with something called permutation. Permutation is when you get to pick things, right? And I kind of remember that with P, permutation, P, picking, right? Okay, you're trying to figure out maybe something like people winning first, second, or third, or winning a prize for something, or picking somebody to be a position on a field in a sporting event, or something to that effect. Now, we do have these full mathematical examples that we can work through, but we are going to use calculators to help us out. We don't have to do the full mathematics behind it. Our main concern is setting up this NPR, if you will. Okay, this right here. This is our main concern. Because if we can set that up, then when we go to the calculator and we linked it to you on the Google Classroom there, all you need to know is the total, which is your N, and the positions you're filling or what you're picking for. That's your R value. And as long as you know where they go, and know that the total should always be equal to or bigger than your R. Okay, your R value cannot be bigger than your total. Then you know what you're going to be filling in to the calculator. Okay, so let's just work our way through some examples. All right, so in the first one, this was the letters in July. This is the one that we just had for our do now. So there's 4 total letters. So that's my N. Okay, and then we have our P, a giant P. That's always going to go in the middle. And it's what you have to pick. So I have to pick out of all the letters. Well, if there's 4 letters, I have to pick out of all 4. 4P4. Okay, when I do 2 letters, well, again, I have 4 letters total that I'm looking at, and I'm going to be picking 2 of those letters. So 4P2, and then you'll put it in the calculator, and we went through in class how you would do that to get your values. And in the end, in the calculator, nice and easy. It'll give you the 24 and the 12 that we saw. Okay, so let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, 10 horses are in a race. So that's my total. I'm looking at 10 horses. All right. It says, how many different ways can a horse finish first, second, or third? So we're picking winners. We're picking a first place winner, a second place winner, and a third place winner. And it says, assuming there's no tie. So that's important. We want to assume that nobody can be duplicating in a position. So that means there's 3 positions we're looking at. So 10, pick 3. And again, that's just a matter of putting it in your calculator at that point. And when you do so, it comes out to be 720 ways that it would work. Okay, and that would be using our permutation. We're picking things to be either in a position, a certain position, or to win first, second, or third, which is considered a position, right? You win the first position, second position, or third position. Okay. Whoops. Okay, now this one talks about probability. So I'm going to show you two ways. One way Mr. Garcia went through with you in class. Another way is my way, which might be a little bit easier for some people. It just depends on how you look at it. So you have a parade. There's 12 floats in the parade. So obviously that is of importance here. Probably a total, right? Okay, and their order is chosen at random. We want so that your soccer team is first, and you want the school chorus second. So we would want soccer team, we would want chorus, and then the other 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. The other 10 could be whatever happens. We don't care. So the way Mr. Garcia showed you, which is a completely valid way, right, is our probability is going to be made up of a fraction. The total is going to be 14, pick 14, right? I can have 14 floats picked 14 different ways. But I'm trying to force a certain way to happen. I'm trying to force soccer team first and the chorus second. So by forcing that, that means two options were already taken. Two positions were already taken. And we're left with these 10 then, right? There's 10 left here. So then we would have, oh, I'm sorry, and it's not 14, it's 12. So let's fix that. So I'm sorry, 12 floats, 12 ways. And we then have 10 floats left, 10 ways. And then you would put that in your calculator and you are going to end up with some very large numbers. Okay, so let me do that real quick because I don't have them in front of me right now. Okay, so 10 pick 10 comes out to this very large number. Okay, and then 12 pick 12 is an even bigger number. And then all I would suggest you do with these is then put them in your calculator and divide them. Now, if your calculator will give you it as a fraction, that's great. And the fraction of this, the reduced fraction, is 1 over 132. But if it doesn't give you a reduced fraction and it gives you a decimal, that's fine. It is 0.008 is what it would round to. Okay, so whatever option works for you. So that's one way of doing it. The other way that you can do is we know it's a probability. So I know I'm going to have a fraction. And the way I look at it, and again, this is just my way, is that I have two positions I want to have done. I want them to be picked this way. So I'm going to choose 12. I have the 12 to choose from. That's my total. And I'm picking these two things to have happen. I'm picking soccer team first, chorus second, those two opportunities. And if you put that in your calculator, you actually get 132. And then from there, the probability of choosing soccer first and chorus second, well, that is 1 out of the 132 ways we could possibly get it, right? It's one way because this is the only way I want it. Soccer first, chorus second. That's only one option out of my total ways. Either way, you are going to get the same value. You get 1 over 132 or about 0.008 or 0.8%. If people want to write them as percentages, that's fine too. Okay, but that is another option, another way you can look at it. Okay. Okay, the next thing, and those are some examples you guys will go through Next thing is your combination. So a combination is where order does not matter. So for instance, here, like it says, if I'm giving out identical prizes, right? I'm giving out prizes for, the first 3 people, but they're all getting a $10 gift card, then it doesn't matter the order in which I pick them. But if the first person gets a $20 gift card, the second person gets a 15, now order does matter. Okay, so if something where it's equal events happening, you just want 3 of it or however many, then you use combination. You're choosing. You can choose this many things to happen. So notice it does look exactly the same as permutation, right? NCR, so instead of a P, we're using a capital C for choosing or combinations. So in that case, you just need to know to look at the combination or the C when you use your calculator. Okay, so here, same idea. We have the possible combinations of 2 letters from the alphabet of ABC. Okay, great. So I have 4 letters total, and I'm choosing 2 of those letters. Combinations, so the word is there. It's going to give you a clear clue that you're going to use C. And then again, just put that right in your calculator, and it comes out with 28 possible combinations. Right. Now, the big one that most people tend to, I'm sorry, not 28, 6 combinations. So it should be 6 combinations. I apologize. 4, choose 2. There's 6 combinations you can do it. Now, example 5, that was the answer to number 5. I was jumping ahead. You're ordering a sandwich. This is very common for combinations, right? If you're ordering food, or we even did this back in middle school or younger, elementary school, when they were like, you have 4 pants and 2 shirts. How many ways can you wear them? This is that. How can you choose all these different options? Well, there's 8 total side dishes, and you get to choose 2 for your dinner. So when you put that in your calculator, this is where 28 comes from. There's 28 combinations for this way. Okay, so again, really the hardest thing is trying to figure out, are we using combinations or are we using permutations? Are we choosing something? Are we picking something? Does order matter is really the main thing you want to look at. Okay, and for this one, again, similar to probability for permutation. It's a probability question. There's 14 total photos, and there's room for 2 at the top of the page. Now, it doesn't matter what 2 go there or what order they're placed at, right? You just want a picture of you and your friend, but it doesn't matter if you put, the one from you guys at the soccer game first, and then the one of you in your classroom second. It doesn't matter that order. You just want your 2 photos to appear at the top of the page, right, in the yearbook. So this is a choosing one. So again, similar, there's 2 ways you can do this. If you use my way, right, there's 14 total pictures. I am choosing 2 of them. Oops. Choosing 2 of them. So 14, choose 2, that is 91 combinations, right? So with the 91 combinations, there's only one way I want it, and I want it using the the 2 pictures of me and my friend at the top. So the probability of 2 photos of you and your friend is 1 out of the 91 ways that you can do this. Okay. So when you're doing it, I would suggest this is probably going to be the easiest way. If you do it the other way, where you have the 2 combinations you can choose from, there's still going to be 14 choose 2 on the bottom, and that leaves you with 12 2 out of 2 to choose on top. But just so you know, anytime you choose the same as your total, it's going to be a 1 on top. So you still go back to the 1 over the 191. Okay. Okay, and then after that, it's just a whole bunch of extra practice problems to continue working through and determining whether you will use permutation or combination.